Hey guys, welcome to my channel. So today I just wanted to take time and reflect back to December, even though it's like already the middle of January, I know, but I had like a really special trip back to the Philippines in December, and I just wanted to like commemorate that time because it was some time that I got to spend with my family, which is like so rare. My dad lives in Colorado and my uncle's family lives in Oregon, and us kids are like a little bit more spread out, but it was just like a really special time because my grandpa turned 90, and then everybody got to go back to the Philippines and finally like be together in the same place. So when the trip started, it was actually coming out of a really stressful time in med school. I basically took my final, ate lunch with some friends, and then my roommate drove me to the airport. I traveled for about 20 hours, so I had a layover in San Francisco, and then I had another one in Seoul, and then I finally got to Manila, and I just remember feeling so tired and like out of it. And I didn't even hear my uncle calling for me. He had to like park the car and then walk like a couple blocks to get me, and then he helped me carry my bag and all my stuff to his car, and then he drove me to the Manila hotel, and that's where we were going to celebrate my grandpa's birthday. So my parents had a room, and then my sister and I shared a room. My uncle's family had a room, and then my grandma and grandpa had a room. So I think on the 16th we got together like as many people in the family as we could, and then we went to my aunt's house to do a professional photo shoot. So since everybody is kind of like scattered, it's hard to get everyone in the same place at the same time. It's just like very hard to align all those schedules, and we got as many people together as we could to do a family photo shoot. And that was like a lot of fun because we all dressed up in red and we were like very coordinated, and it was just a lot of fun to have like professional photos taken, and then we also had some silly photos. So after that photo shoot, we had dinner at the Manila hotel, and the food there was bomb. Like they had all these different steaks and then all this different sushi, a ton of Filipino desserts and food, and it was really fun because my whole family was there. So not just like the family, but also like the extended family, like related to the in-laws, and like my mom's brother came. And I think even though he's had some of the most difficult experiences I've heard of in the past, like he's also like one of the strongest people I know. He's like so hardworking, so humble, and he's always able to talk about anything. He's very educated, and he's just like someone I really look up to. So it was good to see him that evening. It was also really special to see my grandpa so happy. I don't get to see my grandpa a lot, but just having the memories of him being surrounded by loved ones and having a big smile on his face, that was like just really special, and it's something that I hope I'll have in my future, just to be able to be surrounded by this huge family and all this love. My aunt's birthday was the day after. For her birthday, we went to Intramuros, which is the walled city. My cousin was like super sweet because there was a soup, but like everyone was kind of too lazy to get the soup. But then he noticed that, and then he just like scooped a bowl of soup for everybody in the family, and I just thought that was like the sweetest thing. And during that time, we heard stories about my grandpa's life. Even though I was still kind of recovering from my difficult semester, you know, I felt like really good that my family were all showing up for each other and just being there. My family and I took a quick 4-day trip to Taiwan, and we did like a bunch of touristy things. Like we saw the Chiang Kai-shek Memorial. We saw like this beautiful museum with all this amazing brush painting, which I really love brush painting. I think it's beautiful. And then we also walked around and saw Taipei 101. It was like super cloudy that day, so we couldn't see the city from the top of the tower very well. But it was fun to like learn about the history and try some street food. And I really enjoyed walking around Peace Park. I think it's kind of like a central park for them, but it's like this beautiful garden with like bridges and rivers and lots of birds. It was like very quiet and serene, and it just kind of like helped me feel grounded. But unfortunately, I caught this bad like stomach bug. I think it was probably from the street food or maybe the weather change. I ended up being like so sick I couldn't leave the hotel for one of the days, and that was kind of a bummer. But I guess there's no real street food experience if Nikki doesn't get the stomach bug. After Taiwan, we went back to Manila and we went to this resort called Las Casas. Basically what it is they have these like old homes and they like reconstructed them to look like how they looked back then. They had like some dancers dance like a bunch of traditional Filipino dances, and we had some pretty good food there too. We went with my uncle's family and my aunt's family and also my grandma. It was like really special because there was this gorgeous sunset over the beach, and it was fun to see the different pictures we took because we all saw the same sunset, but we found different ways to capture its beauty. That's one thing I just love about photography, and I'm glad that a lot of my family members also like photography. And then after that, we went back and we had dinner with my mom's brother, and he knew some of the hard things I was going through, and he just knew exactly what to say to help me feel better. And then the next day after that was Christmas Eve. We played all of these different games. So we played like water pong. We played this game where you basically have a paper plate and then there's paper airplanes, and then you use the plate to like fan the paper airplane across the room onto like this landing pad, and that was like just really funny to watch. And it was fun to watch my aunts and uncles and my cousins like let loose and just be silly and engage in these fun games. I think people weren't that invested at first, but then we found out there was going to be a cash prize, and then people got like a lot more competitive when there was money on the line. For that party, I think everyone was actually able to be there because for the family photo shoot, some of my cousins still had finals, so we took a big family photo, and I really like that picture. Like when I look at it, I just feel super full and surrounded by love. So the next day was Christmas and there was a typhoon, which was unfortunate because we were planning to go to Coron, which is like a island. Unfortunately, because of the typhoon, like 2 of my cousins' flights got canceled, so they couldn't come with us anymore. And we were worried whether our flight would go through or not, but it did. We landed safely on the island, and when we got there, we ended up eating lunch at McDonald's on Christmas. It sounds kind of sad, but it actually didn't feel that sad because I was with my family members. But unfortunately, because of the typhoon, we weren't able to like go adventuring or exploring like we wanted to. We spent the evening in the hotel, but that actually wasn't too bad because the cousins got together and we played Avalon. The following day in Coron, like the rain had stopped fortunately, so we could go out, but I think because of the wind it wasn't safe to go into the water yet. All of us got in a van and then we drove across the island to go to a beach, and the beach was actually like super peaceful. Like there were hardly anyone else there. The water was super clear. At first we were a little concerned that there could be sea urchins and we could get poisoned, but once we overcame that fear and stuck together, it was okay. So I got to spend time with my older cousin, and I feel like I have a special bond with him because I don't have an older brother, but whenever I hang out with him, he's kind of like that figure for me, I guess, and he like mentors me and just has like unconditional love. Yeah, I just feel like very safe and under his wing whenever I hang out with him. So it was good because we got to spend some one-on-one bonding time, and we were in this beautiful beach. We could see the island, and then the water was super clear. The day afterward, we were able to go to island hopping because the weather was nice enough. There were several islands that we stopped at. Each of them are kind of known for their own thing. So like one of them, we hiked up to a freshwater lake. Another one, there were like two lagoons next to each other, and then kind of like a tunnel that you go through to get from one to the other, and that was really beautiful. You could see a lot of fish. The final stop was really my favorite. The water was really clear and you could see all of this coral and all of this fish, and my cousin saw a clam. We got to see the sunset, and actually the tour started like 1 or 2 hours late, but fortunately they were kind enough to like make up the time at the end of the trip, so we were able to see the sunset on a boat surrounded by the water. Whenever I'm feeling stressed, I just picture that place and that moment in time, and I just feel relaxed. The rest of the trip, I think there were like 2 or 3 days after that, we just spent it like having bonding time. Like we played some games as cousins, and I also got all my hair chopped off. Yeah, just kind of like more chill, relaxing things, like less adventuring, but like spending time like enjoying each other's company. But yeah, that was basically how my trip was, and right now I just feel really grateful for my family. I feel like even though we live so far apart and that's hard, like everybody still shows up for each other. And I guess like to me that's the definition of family, is like showing up for each other, and it was good to be surrounded by them and to feel like refreshed and to celebrate my grandpa's birthday. But thank you guys for listening to my stories and reminiscing with me. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!